Good evening, everybody. Those on Monday and Zoom and those in town hall here. So let's go in and introduce the commissioners that are in attendance. So Warren Truman, David Williams, Jerry Bethel, and just to note, we have Sabina Cooler, coordinator, and Jean Wilson, our secretary, with us as well. We had a quorum. One is July 25th, 2023. Anybody else want to read this?
I did. Under new business, the only thing I found on 108 Codes Hill Road. Sorry, it's flying down. It says the members will conduct a site visit on June 29th at 8:30, and then it references Mr. Hatch. Wasn't referenced anywhere else. I didn't understand the relevance, and said he friend who is a neighbor. Said he friend who is a neighbor.
Said his phone. He didn't speak up during the meeting. So,
Something like that. Mr. Hess. Doesn't Mr. Hess live down in North Farm?
he said it, right? So it's,
Okay, who is a neighbor?
yeah.
And it's like, he lived on North Farm and.
Anybody catch anything else?
Can you guys just speak up a little bit? We're having trouble hearing you.
We're saying we turn the good, running the gas, self absorbed, and self doing on that scale. I often to put that presentation together. So.
From the one sheet sent. So you didn't make that change prior to sending it? And this, I printed them from the one you sent.
Well, why don't we just make the change? So she is with Suffield. How's that? Was the Suffield selection on the people.
I think still can't hear you. So maybe start yelling. I don't know. Is it still muffled, guys?
Is it muted? Are we just?
We can hear it very, very faint. We can hear that you're talking, but I can't hear anything. I can't understand what you're saying.
Is there like a volume to it?
Gene, I didn't update the actual
I think that's this.
text in my email. I said you should take this and replace this.
I'm sorry, I thought you had.
No, I-
Okay, if I can go.
All right, so then I'm just gonna make a motion that we continue the minutes until the next
Oh,
meeting.
better.
And we can review the change then. Any better on Zoom? Thank you, Michelle. All right, so. I made a motion to continue the minutes. Norm?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. So Andy, I. Jerry, I. Norm seconded. So we're moving on. Let's open up the meeting to public comments. Does anybody in-house have a public comment this evening? All right, anybody online?
Put her hand up.
Michelle?
Hello, Michelle Pratt, 152 Berkshire Ave. I just wanted to say we have gotten a report of Eurasian milfoil that's really very busily breeding down in Turtle Cove on South Pond. And it's been confirmed by Ken Wagner, the limnologist. And so, as I understand it, we can't do any kind of chemical treatment at this point in time because of the time of the year. It's not advisable. So we're thinking, we're just finding this news out now, but we're thinking that we might want to investigate whether or not CRC would have volunteers that want to hand pull. And I know that if that's something we want to do, we need to come to you for, I believe it's an NOI, if I'm not mistaken. So I kind of wanted to know if you wouldn't mind answering me at this point, what if there's a process, or should we talk about it afterwards? So we can apply for that in case folks have an interest in maybe doing that, and if that's advisable through LMC.
So I think, Michelle, with any project that needs to be done, we're gonna need to approve a plan anyways.
Okay,
So can you get together with your CRC folks if you're gonna get LMC involved? Put together a plan.
okay,
And then we can go from there once we have a plan, right? Where you're gonna do it. Meeting locations, what process are you gonna use? You said pulling it by hand, but if we could just have that documented on paper.
okay,
I think it's gonna be a huge issue, but we do wanna make sure that we see a plan before us. Okay?
okay, perfect. And if we go out to survey the extent of that, is there anybody from the commission that's interested in coming out to have a look as well?
Well, it depends on when you're going, but yeah, I'm happy to go.
I'm always up for a boat ride.
Yeah.
Woman like to go.
Normally, like,
Dave, Jerry, Norm?
Yeah, we can probably do it, depending on the date.
Okay,
I'm tied
Okay.
up this available all next week, Michelle. You just let us know when
Okay.
you wanna.
all right, we'll get some dates together and then get back to you.
Okay,
And
Perfect.
we'll talk about a plan and see what we need to do for that.
okay.
Wonderful, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle.
All right, so we at 7:05. 7:05 enough. All right, we're gonna move on. NOI for 662A College Highway continuation. We received a message from the applicant that they're hiring on another wetland scientist to corroborate what they came to us as far as a buffer zone and the work within the buffer zone or where the actually delineation is. So they told us it's gonna be 6 to 8 weeks before they come back with anything. So we're just gonna continue this until they do get. I would say maybe we just take it off the agenda until they tell us they're gonna be back. Okay? So I will hear a motion to continue this hearing. Norm made the motion,
I'll
Dave
second.
McWilliams, Jerry seconds, Andy?
Recused.
Oh, yeah, Dave McWilliams, aye. All right, well, it's gonna continue.
Continue on,
It's
3-0 vote.
Well,
it's minority vote.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a thing,
That's a
a minority vote?
For the, quorum, so you couldn't go forward anyways.
Right.
So either way, it bumps.
right.
You can vote on it next meeting.
Yeah.
All right, next agenda item is an RDA for 20 Evergreen Street, proposed replacement of a retention wall within 100 feet of Congamond, Lake Congamond. Do we have somebody here for the applicant? Me, come on up. Can you state your name and address?
David Turner, 32 North Long-Eared Road, Southwick.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Turner.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, and you?
Good. Let me just read this into the record.
Okay, just before you start, Mr. Turner didn't sign.
Mr. Turner.
Well, while you do that, I'll read this. How's that?
Okay.
Okay. The Southwick Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing under the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act. General Law 131.40 and the Southwick Conservation Commission Regulations and Bylaws, Chapter 182 and Chapter 450. For a request for determination, the project location is 20 Evergreen Street. The project is for replacement of a portion of a retaining wall within 100 feet of Lake Congamon. So the meeting is taking place here and now, as well as on Zoom. Whenever you're ready, tell us what you got going on.
There's a wood wall there now, less than 3 feet tall. 94 feet long, going to take it down, bring it to the transfer station in West Springfield and dispose of it and put up a dry stack block wall with gravel behind it and a pipe for drainage. The pipe leaning towards the street, not towards the lake. The wall doesn't even come close to going down the hill to the lake. It's just really along their house. And the big tree in the back kind of stops the wall right there anyway.
Got the picture.
Yeah, it's gonna go from that existing concrete there back to the street. So I'm not, it's not gonna go down the hill whatsoever. And it's really about that tall. It's at its highest part, it's probably less than 3 feet.
I'm looking it up on,
Okay,
just, you want to see group? Sure. I want to pull it up on the map so I can see where it is.
thank you. Sorry about that.
Where will the discharge pipe be?
And it's gonna go towards the road.
Oh, so it's gonna be.
Yeah, these block are designed where the water kind of just flows right through them anyway. There's no cement involved.
Okay.
This is 20.
Evergreen.
Yeah, it shows it Evergreen Ave though on Google, and
Yeah.
this shows Evergreen Street in the papers.
Is it Ave or Street?
Street, I believe it's on
Yeah,
the
it's
street.
Yeah, it was on the other side. We got both.
Oh, really?
What's that?
Nothing.
No, I'm showing Evergreen, like Andy said, he's showing
We
Evergreen.
have an
Ave.
Evergreen Street and an Evergreen Ave in town.
Well, who made that decision?
Same guy that put North Long Yard over there and South Long Yard over here, and he
Right.
somehow connect the two. Put Foster Road
I
in the
think
middle.
there's a Foster Road, yeah. stuck in
Yeah,
the
and they
middle.
don't even like go the same direction. One's east-west and one's north-south.
So where, the orientation of the wall, is it parallel to the shore or is it?
No, it runs alongside, this being her property. It goes from about here back to the road. In this direction, not nowhere near the water.
It's going that way.
Yeah.
And it looks like the land almost slopes back to the road as well from your pictures.
It kind of slopes down towards 17.
Yeah,
Go away. Go away.
So remember, this is a request for an RDA. So to approve a request for an RDA, you have to come up with a negative determination. If you would like to disapprove it, you have to come up with a positive determination. So who's doing the work?
I am.
65 feet from the lake.
does this require like silk fencing and such? Cause I didn't see a note, any note of
If you
that.
wanted me to put up a silk sock or something, I could. But really, it's so close to the neighbor's property, I would be, digging a trench in his yard to put up that, silk fence.
So a sock,
Well, it's just something that goes on the ground.
like a
I'll
wattle.
stake it in, it's kind of like a rolled up hay.
Yeah.
And, if you needed me to put that up, I guess we could do that as well.
I think anytime there's work with that close to the lake, we want to have some sort of sediment barrier to keep
Yeah.
any kind of sediment flowing in.
I would like to be able to use a small bobcat if I could. For moving gravel and, I could do it without it.
Is that like an excavator bobcat?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
front
it's a
end loader
small one,
bobcat?
though.
But it's the scoop, not the shovel.
No, it's a shovel.
Okay. So you're gonna be kind of on your neighbor's yard anyways with the bobcat.
Yeah, but she's good friends with the neighbor and, the wall is falling onto the neighbor's yard now. Cause it's so rotted.
Is
as
that
it
right on the property line?
It's very close, yeah. I kind of measured it out myself, but it seems like she has more than she's thinking, but. I'm gonna stick the wall kind of right where it is now, just to make sure. And if anything, this type of wall batters back towards her property anyway, 3/4 of an inch every course and. At the start of the street, it's probably just gonna be, 1.5 courses, the first one being buried halfway.
And down towards the water, you're looking at 3 courses, you said?
Down towards the, only in the middle by her garage is about the tallest part of it. But
Okay.
down towards the lake end is shorter. As, you know, you can see where it's taller here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's, I guess, kind of about maybe 2 feet along the garage. So like 32 inches where you can see it there headed towards the lake.
Hmm.
But then it steps down again. But I mean, that wall, you can literally take it and just pretty much pull it down with your hands. Now, as it is.
Okay. So. When looking at an RDA, I just want to read this so that we're just continually educating and refreshing our memories, right? When considering filing for an RDA for work within the buffer zone, an applicant must assure the commission that the potential for alteration of the resource area is so insignificant as to not require the oversight provided by an order of conditions and subsequent certificate of compliance. Therefore, the commission may typically consider issuing a negative determination to projects that meet the following: no alteration to a wetland resource area, less than 1,000 square feet of alteration in the buffer zone, a 50-foot undisturbed buffer strip is between the work and the resource area, the slope to be disturbed is less than 5% toward the resource area. Leach field of a septic system is sited a minimum of 50 feet away from any wetland resource area and is in full compliance with Title V and the local Board of Health regulations. A plan for permanent stabilization, including loam, seeding, and mulching is submitted. Erosion control measures are maintained until permanent vegetation is established. No point source water discharge and not located in the flood zone. So, reading.
I believe she's on sewer there. Now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm looking at a couple of things where I think this would apply. Really no alteration to the wetland area. It's outside of 50 feet from the resource area. I mean, the Title V, well, it doesn't apply. 50-foot undisturbed buffer strip between the work and the resource area, so. I'm fine with it. Does anybody have any questions or concerns as to why we should not allow this project to happen?
I'm fine with it too. I'm good with it going forward.
Okay, I'll take a motion. Remember, negative is good, positive is bad.
Move for a negative determination.
Jerry made the motion. Do I have a second?
I will second that.
Andy seconds.
And we add the fact that you love the straw bales or.
The stoke sock?
Yeah.
So
please.
stock.
Yep.
Just in case it rains or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
crazy and it just ends up down there. That'd probably be a good thing.
It's gonna be far better for the lake, me putting this wall up than the one she has.
Perfect.
That's for sure.
Okay, just do us a favor, no work until that's in.
Okay, yeah.
All right, thank you.
I really can't start it at this point for a week or so anyway.
Okay,
You can't start until you get the
Right.
paperwork.
I'm just saying, it's not like I'm gonna go there.
everything's gonna wash into the lake sooner or later anyways with the rains we begin.
So is it gonna be just erosion control or are we specifying, like?
Erosion control.
Yeah.
And I didn't vote, so I vote aye too, so. You got the green light to go with us, as long as you put a lot of, there's some sort of
Yeah.
erosion control in place.
Okay,
Okay, so you just work with Sabrina on that?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay,
okay, so I gotta just wait to get something in the mail or hear from you or,
Yeah, do you want me to give you a call when the paperwork's ready?
Yes,
or-
yeah.
Okay.
the lady will be so happy, she's been waiting for a long time. She said it took a long time to get a tree cut down in the backyard that was literally falling on the house, so
Oh,
I understand it's, you know, if it was on the other side of the street, she'd have been okay, but being on the lakeside stuff,
mhm.
makes a difference,
Oh, it does.
absolutely.
yeah.
All right.
And I wasn't sure either, so I went to the building department and, you know, I told him putting up a small retaining wall. He said, oh, you don't need no permit or anything. You're all set. Then he said, well, where is it? Once I told him that ended that.
Well, it heartens me to hear that he asked you that question, that's good.
He's been pretty
Oh,
good
yeah,
with that.
yeah.
Appreciate that, I will pass on
Yeah.
our appreciation. Cool,
Okay,
All right,
you very
we're all
much.
set. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna go under new business. So the first thing under new business is a request for a certificate of compliance for 7 and 9 Lakeview Street and 90 Point Grove Road. I can tell you that the applicant has asked for a continuance on that. Is that correct? So we will be continuing that as long as we have a vote to continue. So move. Norm makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Andy seconds. Jerry?
Aye.
Dave, I. Moving on. Okay, 19 Foster Road. Update on project. So just in case you're unaware, we approved the building of the single-family dwelling at 19 Foster Road. During the process of digging the foundation hole sprung a leak. And, we're pumping a lot of water out of there. I mean, I went by and it was 20 gallons a minute anyways out of this hole.
This is the
The trailer.
mobile home that got pulled out?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I stopped and I talked to the gentleman and had a concern because he was pumping it into the resource area, and not that you can't pump water into the resource area, you need to pump clean water into the resource area. And they had built, I was told by the engineer on site, they were gonna put a bucket in, they were gonna sock it before they even sucked it up. And when it came out of the discharge end, it was gonna be further filtered, coming out of the discharge end. Building inspector also got involved, put a cease and desist in place because under Southwick bylaws, and I don't know if it's general bylaws or what have you, in order to build a foundation, you need to work in virgin soil. And what these folks did is they took out a bunch of soil and they brought in a bunch of fill, and they want to put a foundation on fill, which, you know, over time will settle, unlike virgin soil. So it has a tendency to cause cracks in foundations just down the road. So right now there is a cease and desist going on for the construction of this. I've gone by it a couple of times. I see heavy equipment moving. So I don't know where they are on the cease and desist, but I do know that there is water being pumped out of there on a regular basis.
Mhm. Yeah, so this is, well, let me go back. Right here, this is the,
Sump pump,
sure,
French drain and the sump pump.
there you go.
Yep.
It looks relatively clear when it goes, when it's filtered into there. And then this is the pipe, and the water's actually squirting out of it right now.
Yep.
I think it's like every 30 seconds or so. And then this is just all the water from that pump. And the silt fence seems to be doing its job. I noticed just, this is the tear. I think that's where the pump was going through, the pipe was going through. So I just told him to fix that. Yeah, so the pipe that's squirting out water is over here to the left. And it's silt fence doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, so I think from a conservation perspective, they're taking the steps to make sure that clean water is going into the resource area, and wetlands are for water anyways, so we'll just keep an eye on it. If you remember, he's a pretty decent guy. He has no problem with us stopping by, taking a look to make sure that the discharge coming out is clean water. His argument or his concerns with the building inspector is really outside of our purview, so we'll let them deal with that. But that's just kind of an update.
Okay.
All
Did
right,
the trailer leave already? I saw it was
No.
pulled forward.
it's still at the front end of the
Right.
driveway where we asked him to put it, so it's still there. Make him an offer. It's a good size.
Have to measure it, see how many ATVs will fit on it.
Yeah, right, in it, not on it, in it. Next new business, emergency certification issued for 18 and 16 Berkshire Avenue, so there were some trees that fell into the neighbor's yard and onto the neighbor's dock. And Sabrina and our tree warden, Randy Brown, went out and took a look at it, so Sabrina, if you could just fill everybody in on your visit.
Yeah, so just a little background, a couple months ago, 2 trees were removed from the top of the hill. And I was told that those trees were actually hollow. I think they were oak. The ones that were removed were oak and they were hollow. And the one tree that fell from 18 Berkshire onto 16 Berkshire, like fell right into their yard, that was also hollow, and it was a good size old tree. So the homeowner was concerned about a couple other trees. The first time I issued an emergency certificate to remove a tree that was essentially right next to the one that fell, and to remove a tree that was along the shoreline that suffered damage from the one tree that did fall. And then the next day, Dave and I went out to go look at another tree that was on the top of the hill. And the homeowner and the neighbor was concerned with this one tree because of what has happened in the past. And this one tree was also leaning over the neighbor's house. So they were both really concerned about this one tree. So I said, you know, okay, I think this is an emergency certificate.
It was the same
and-
species and age as the
Yeah.
trees that were found to be hollow. And if you looked at it, it was probably a 60-foot tall, over 50, 60-foot tall oak. And it was, if you look at the two properties, the house that had the trees are up here and they have a neighbor probably 25 to 30 feet below them. This tree is up here and the entire canopy is on the side above their neighbor's house. So
Yeah.
if I was their neighbor, I would be
Very.
looking up at that tree every day and figuring out how I could take it down, so.
I believe they came down today because they closed Berkshire Ave.
Yeah, they were gonna have to crane them out.
Oh, that's what they
That's
closed
why?
it down for.
Oh, I thought there was a flood on the bridge. No. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was a mess.
Was that?
It was a different tree that they cleaned out. It was on 23, had a tree behind.
I'm sorry, can you identify yourself
It was
and your address?
18 Berkshire.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. So the shutdown of that end of the street and the crane was for house number 23, which is on the opposite side of the street, and they had a large tree where part of it came onto their house. It was enormous, but in order for them to get it out, they had to crane it up and over.
Oh, okay.
But 18 Berkshire Ave happened today as well. We thought it was a really good time since the street was shut down and just get them all done at once.
Yeah,
It's good.
good. We'll hopefully everybody safe. You know,
Yeah,
nobody gets squished. Really? Yeah. So,
I have the emergency certificate right here for you guys to sign for that one oak. That one extra oak at the top of the hill. So you guys can look at it, read it.
I'm good. I already read it. Yeah.
Did you?
I read everything you sent me.
I didn't send this one. This one's new. I just wrote this out today.
It was, I'm gonna discuss these oak trees.
Yeah, so that was the
You
that
added
was
a new
what
one.
we did. This is the new one
Gee.
that I want you guys to sign and be a part of. We don't get this opportunity, you know, if it's
Right.
an emergency, I just go out there and I'm like, okay,
Keep it down.
yeah.
Even
so-
better. Stamp it and send it.
And it was a rainstorm, I guess, that caused that big tree to fall.
Sure,
So
it'll
that's-
get soaked with water.
Goodness.
They get waterlogged like 5-10.
Thank you for conveying that, Norm.
Coming down.
Yeah.
Thank you. Get waterlogged.
I was hoping to get my steps in today. Ruiner of my good health. All right, while you guys sign that, we're gonna keep moving on. So we're under old business right now, so request for plan alteration, 157 Feeding Hills Road. I don't believe there's anybody in here for that. That
No.
is Craig's Tea House. So we'll just keep moving that along until they come back to us. The next one is a possible wetland violation for 31 Sam West Road. If you recall, this was the one that sits between the bike trail and TJ Bark Mulch. And there was some communications, if you recall, they were gonna build a berm, to keep the water going into the vernal pool that we discovered back there. And that they were gonna do some wetland replication. So Sabrina got an email today from the owner of TJ Bark Mulch. Can you just synopsize that one?
You the owner?
Yeah.
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 So he's down in Florida right now. He's planning on hiring our Levesque. Apparently our Levesque is open for business now. He's got some time on his hands, so, right, rarity.
Should I say Wallen?
I think we all know he's busy.
Mm.
Yeah, so he comes back from Florida, I think mid-August, so we should be hearing more from that then.
But
Your
they
fingers
did build the
crossed.
berm, is what he said.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, so the actual runoff going into the wetlands should be okay, but I'm gonna take a hike out there and just make sure that what he said is actually true.
We have been getting. a lot
And
of that.
then he'll need Levesque for the restoration anyways, but at least if they stop dumping silt into the pond, that's the big thing, so. I'll double check, I'll go for a hike as soon as it's not 100 degrees out. Next thing, report of a porta potty and grills. So Jerry, I know you've been working with Mr. Grillo on that.
Yeah, I haven't heard back from him. We had been communicating. It was nice enough to get back to me and said that he was gonna take steps to do something about it, so.
Okay, yeah, I mean, if you go by there, just take a peek, let us know if you see anything. I think really all we're asking for is a fence to go around the porta potty so that a big
Or-
wind doesn't chuck it into the lake.
Yeah, or just something to keep it from tipping over.
Yeah.
I even suggested maybe a chain or something,
All right,
something that won't prohibit it being empty. That's all.
right on. Yeah, so we'll just keep moving that along until it's done. Next one is 12 Hillside Road, information request for a brook on APR property. Hello, how are you?
Fine.
Good. I don't think anything back from DEP at this point.
We're waiting for MDR for their report, right?
Yeah.
I emailed you what they said, Sue Roscoe, 1 Moby Lane.
Hi, Sue.
They sent an email to you, the last week. What Tyler Maycap sent me. And, Catherine Sullivan sent me.
Okay. I don't remember getting that. Was it the report though, or?
Yeah, one was a report from Catherine, the other one was, I think it was all in one, it's all in Tyler's, that really,
Okay,
and in Tyler's. Assessment, when he went out there, he really right like as Catherine did.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, yeah, well, it sounds like we haven't gotten to that, so my apologies for that. If it is in fact in Sabrina's email box, we'll take a look at that and be ready to discuss it on our meeting on the 7th, okay?
I'll resend it to you, Sabrina.
Okay, yeah.
That would be great, yeah,
Thanks.
again. Sometimes these things, but apologies.
While Sue's here, are you also, hey, the north side of Coes Hill Road? Is that yours as well? That's the field we're waiting to
No,
get cut,
that's,
so we can walk through without the
That's
ticks.
Skip Chapman's
Okay,
property.
right,
The Parsons barn out there.
right?
It's paid,
Oh, it's cut now?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, because we were not walking through there because it was too tall.
Yeah, I think Mamet just sent out a message maybe yesterday saying it
Alright.
was locked down, so, yeah,
Right, we'll only get the short ticks.
yeah. You get ticks on grass, walking through grass, man, it's amazing this
I
year.
got on a bench on Martha's Vineyard at the bus stop,
Yeah.
like 5 ticks in like 3 minutes, like, gotta get off this bench. They were like, just, some reason, they were just right there.
They were with the
Crazy.
bus,
Yeah.
they know that's where people
Yeah.
congregate,
They got
right?
on, tell you. Ocean ticks, right?
All right, we're moving along, so Concom, property behind 108 Coastal Hill Road. Hello, Doreen. Can you just introduce yourself again?
Doreen Guard, 230 College Highway.
Okay, great, thank you.
It's cut.
It's cut.
but
Thank you for the
it's wet.
update.
It's gonna be wet in this, I just want you to know. I'm giving you guys a heads up. It's gonna be wet going through, like from the field to, the trail. So
Okay.
there's something.
So I know we're trying to put something on the calendar. If we could throw something on the calendar, that's great. I am straight out. I can't do it this week, but if you guys can do it this week and you want to take a hike up and through the woods, please do so. I just can't. So if you guys want to try to put something on the calendar.
well, if it's wet, maybe we should wait.
I
Like a week or
suggested in
so.
that email, maybe wait another.
Yeah.
We won't get so much rain.
What's the
Okay.
weather gonna be
I
like?
mean, I don't know, I mean, it's six to one, half dozen the other.
I mean, I know my app isn't necessarily correct ever, but it's looking like next week is gonna be drier
Can't be much wetter.
and cooler too, right?
Yeah, it can get better.
All right, so you guys wanna pick a date next week?
Cannot do.
Do we wanna do it at 8:30 again, so we're not, that's the reason why we did that.
Yeah.
Fine,
Okay, Monday's out.
We often look at the trailers.
So you can. Yeah, I think you were saying. Yeah. We're making it. We don't care what it is. We just care if it's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I suppose so Monday's out, Tuesday's out, maybe Wednesday. What's your Wednesday? Anybody else? Next Wednesday, 8:30, Wednesday. Right on. Yeah. Maybe I can put in my calendar, but it will never happen. Same parking spot?
We got another report that our audience.
TV or something.
Is it better?
That was better.
Yelling at us. Stop yelling.
It's like when you just Wednesday.
All right, moving on, open space committee. Conversation with hello. Of an open space committee. He suggested that we use. That work with the creation and managing of the open space committee. He's not sure if the name open space committee is the right nomenclature, so we want this committee. So Sabrina and I need to make a call to this woman in the state to find out whether or not we should use open space or some other name. So last thing I have is we received a message from Senate Bill, regarding one of our signs at North Pond. It has gone missing. I'm hoping they put on an ATV on it, but one. Well, that's problematic if it is. So I haven't had a chance to take a hike over here and look into it. I would ask that cruising around or Joey cruising around on your boat, can you just swing by there and look to see if you see it at the bottom?
Those are expensive times. I saw kids hanging off the tree last time I was out there.
Yeah, you know, we need to have. People or not. Yeah.
It's hard to get. So we just need to look at the budget. I'll have a conversation with the group about that. And move forward and see what we can.
Yeah.
We were talking about that. And then we have finished there. If you look at the cameras, like, good cameras, and cell phone ones seem fantastic.
Yeah. So. Thinking.
So if you can just find a good quality and a good cost, that would be good.
That's all. Hold on.
We talked about the open position, conservation. Close for the Ryan's position that's been vacant. We had 5 applicants, we had 5 at the time of the meeting. We can close the 28th of this month and do the interviews on August 7th. For our two position, the renomination. You will be interviewed at 6 o'clock.
So we'll be able to come to our meeting at 7.
Okay,
Okay, so we're gonna move that up on the agenda.
so I think I would make it a point to go to that.
When is it?
November 7th, did you say?
Their meeting is the 7th. That's the one where you and that. Yeah. We're gonna interview everybody.
Yeah, that's
Interview.
the new policy.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for that.
Okay.
And you, well, we're early tonight. Want to give them an update on where we are in the master plan?
The master plan. We are getting close. We have a goal to complete the master plan and present it to the planning board in September. We're working on there's 8 different chapters in the master plan. We have 5 of the chapters have a draft that's pretty much completed. 3 are still working at. I am working on a project that I will hopefully have done for Thursday night that looks at coverage of all the things that were identified in the survey, in the visioning process, in the SWOT process, and did we hear you process, as well as our themes and our vision. And looking for holes. And I can tell you, I found quite a few so far.
Really?
Yeah. And then we'll have to discuss what we're gonna do about those. But we're on track to have be done in September.
Yay, that's all I can say about that. Yeah,
A lot of work.
it's been a fun ride. That's all I have. Anybody else? Did you have something?
No, I just wanted to listen. I haven't been to a meeting before and I might be back in the future and wanted to get a feel.
Come on down. Come on down. Appreciate having people here. Huh?
I like this side of the room right now.
All right. All right. So, if there's nothing else, I'm gonna make a motion to close the meeting.
I'll second that.
Norm seconds, Jerry,
Aye.
Andy.
Aye.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for everybody online. Have a good night.